listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and ex-examiners who are masters of IELTS preparation. Your host, Ben Worthington.
Hello there, IELTS students. In this episode, we're going to look at how to stop your IELTS procrastination. Yes, indeed. We've all been there. We've all had this. You wouldn't believe how long it took me to be able to sit down and record this podcast. I'm just joking. Right. What we're going to do is look at the reasons why you might be procrastinating. And then we're going to give you a solution for each reason. Now, if you can hear yourself in these descriptions I'm giving, you should be pausing the audio and write it down. Write this down because this is you. And once you can write it down, you see it for what it is, you see it on paper, and then you can really dive into it. And plus, you're basically committing it to the physical world. It's going from this abstract notion of a thought bouncing around in your brain to the physical, concrete world. And once it's written down, you're never going to lose it unless you lose that piece of paper. So it's going to be there, and then you can break it up and you can analyze it. And hopefully, you'll be able to analyze it and start tackling it using these solutions that I will give you now. So, number one, the reason why you procrastinate is because you know that this task will take effort and hard work. Now then, for this, what I do is I break it into tiniest of tiniest tasks. So for example, if I need to write an essay about immigration and I knew nothing about immigration, first I'll watch a TED Talk and note some new vocabulary, form an opinion, make a list, listen to a podcast about immigration, and just get ideas. And this way, it's like an easy start. It's just dipping your toe into the essay writing process. I'm just going to fill my brain with ideas first. Another way is just saying, okay, I'm going to do just one. You say you're going to write out just one vocabulary list, or you're going to copy down one model essay. And then the idea is that after doing this, you realize it's not as difficult as you anticipated, and it was quite easy to start. All I had to do was sit down and copy the essay in front of me, pen and paper, and now I'm into it. I've got momentum. I'm rolling. So that's how I would solve that problem of the task will take a lot of effort and hard work. Break it down into small components, and also you can even trick yourself and just say, I'm going to just do one tiny thing related to this, which is easy. And then when you find, once you get going, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Number two, the second reason why we'll procrastinate later is because we tell ourselves, I will do it later. Now, we are all guilty of this. And the best way to avoid it is to make it your number one task. Nothing gets done until this task, until I copy out this essay word for word, until I review all the corrections I've been given so I can improve faster, until I analyze the feedback I got back. Now, what works for me personally is if this is my first task of the day on my to-do list. So it has to be the morning. And even if I've got a chaotic morning, I'll wake up earlier and I'll just do it. Yeah, it's number one on the list. One suggestion might be, maybe you want to improve your speaking. So you're going to say for 10 minutes every day, I'm going to read out a model essay, or I'm going to read out a book. Read it out aloud with enthusiasm. This is good. Obviously, you're not going to get any feedback, but it's better than nothing, and it'll probably get you in the mood for speaking English for the rest of the day. Number 3, working on small tasks because they are easier. You might be procrastinating by working on small tasks. Now, this might be, this could be a valid way of getting started, as I said earlier. However, we must be careful that we're not trapped in this specific process. Let me give you an example. You're struggling with IELTS writing task 2. So what do? You go into Google, start watching tutorials, start listening to, Mrs. IELTS, and then you think, that's really good. I've done 30 minutes of IELTS preparation today. Next day, go back onto YouTube, or you listen to some podcasts. Okay, good. I've done an hour's worth of preparation now. You're only passively learning if you do this. What you really need to be doing is watching the tutorial and then applying it, and then actively writing what you learned down, or actively introducing these concepts that you've just heard on the video into your next IELTS essay. But you don't want to be trapped in the passive state of watching IELTS tutorials on YouTube like a vegetable, in the vegetative state. Don't be that person. Be an active person, be proactive, and write down your essays and get feedback. And this is the fast way to improve. Also, this brings me on to the next point. When you're getting your feedback, you're improving faster and you've got more motivation. And if you're moving faster, it's just easier to keep going, to keep that momentum going. So, next point, you might be procrastinating because you've got a lack of motivation. Now, this is common because you've taken the test 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I spoke to a guy yesterday, taken the test 20 times. 20 times. And so he was still motivated. My advice to him was just like, hey, slow down. Give it 3 months. Do not do another test for at least 3 months. Give yourself time. Be easier on yourself. Dedicate that energy towards your tuition. Invest it in a good course. Invest it in a good tutor. Save the time and just work on your language skills. Then work on your exam skills. Anyway, the solution for a lack of motivation. Personally, this is what works for me. 1, I throw in the towel and I mope and I'm just sad for a day or 2. Okay? I don't fight it. I just go with the flow, relax, chill, and yeah, that's it. I just give myself a day or 2, spend some time alone, look at the reasons why I might be demotivated. Okay? Is it because I had a terrible diet last night? Is it because I had a terrible meal? Some junk food, some fast food? Am I demotivated because I had an argument with my girlfriend? Or maybe it's something my brother or sister said to me? Why am I demotivated? Okay? And give myself time and space and just examine it. Then I'll try and find the solution. And number 2, you might like this. Number 2 is I fight it. I'll drink a strong coffee. I'll put the phone in flight mode. I'll do some sport, drink some more coffee, and I'm just going to listen to some really music that gets me pumped up, and I'm going to fight it, and I'm going to do this, come hell or high water, as they say. So those are my 2 personal solutions for getting past this point. But as I said, if you're suffering from a lack of motivation, then personally move into the active learning zone because it's more enjoyable. You'll see more progress. You'll be progressing faster, especially if you're getting feedback. Number 2, take a step back and analyze the situation. Next one. This is probably extremely common for IELTS test takers as well. And I get this a lot actually when I'm reading the emails from students. The reason why you might be procrastinating is because you are unclear about how to get started. Now, I bet that sounds familiar. You say, right, I'm going to write this essay, and you just look at this IELTS task 2 and you're just like, oh my word, what? Mine goes completely blank. The sad thing about this is that it's very overwhelming. You just don't know where to go. You know you've got to get to the end. You know you've got to take the test, but how am I going to get started? Well, number one, very briefly, because I've mentioned this before in previous preparation IELTS podcasts, the solution. Number one, establish where you're falling. Establish where you're failing in IELTS. Is it the listening? Is it the reading? And then go deeper. Is it multiple choice on the reading? Is it, fill in the blanks on the listening? Get specific. And then you know exactly where to focus and dedicate your energy to that weak spot. 1 point at a time, one spot at a time. Number two, once you've got that list of your weak spots, then you make a plan, your action plan, your to-do list. Are you going to do practice tests? Probably for the reading and listening. Are you going to do essay writing? Are you going to find a speaking partner? And make a plan of action, what you're going to do, and then say, okay, in 30 days, I'm going to have another evaluation. I'm going to maybe submit another essay for checking, or I'm going to ask my tutor how I've done improving my accent. But I'm going to basically first find out where the issue is, and then if the issue is speaking, I'm going to break it down further. Is it my accent? Is it my fluency? Is it my confidence? Is it the accuracy which I speak with? What's the deal here? And then I'm going to dive further, find out my issue. You cannot eat a burger in one bite. It takes a lot of bites. Break it down, small pieces. Right. Number 3, as I just mentioned, evaluate. Have I improved with my accent? Can I move on to the next point? Have I improved with my spelling? Have I improved with my introductions? Go back, review it, check. And if you have, super, you move on to number 2 on your list. If you haven't, reevaluate your plan. Double up your plan. Instead of doing an hour a day, maybe do 2 hours a day. The thing here though, for fastest improvement I've seen is to get feedback. Get feedback, especially with your essay writing, because you can really see where you're going, and a decent tutor will give you guidelines on where to focus next. And you can get decent feedback at IELTSPodcast.com, essay correction. Next one. The next reason why you might be procrastinating is because you get distracted. Now, when I'm co-working with my friends in a cafe and I see, actually, what's her name now? Who always does this? Andrea. Yeah. I work with Andrea in a cafe and we sit down. She usually gets a chai latte and I'll get an Americano or whatever. And we have a quick chat, quick catch up. And then I set the timer for 50 minutes, or I usually set it for something random like 52 minutes, 33 seconds to irritate her. Because she likes the round numbers, 50 minutes, 45. So anyway, I set the timer on my phone, put my phone in flight mode. We agree we're going to do 53 minutes of solid work. And I put on my headphones, phone in flight mode, next to the laptop, and I'm working. And I see her, and she's put her headphones in and she's working, and then I get distracted because I see her phone and it's flashing up and down, and she's getting notifications from Facebook Messenger, from Songkick subscription, from a meditation app, ironically, and all these distractions, and she's just breaking off from her work, boom, and just swiping them, answering, diving into Messenger, going back. And this is what they call in productivity circles switching costs. It takes a lot of time to get back into the task, especially if the task was difficult, which I imagine it probably is if you're preparing for IELTS. So, how do we solve this? Well, hopefully you will have got a few tips or tricks from me just now. Phone in flight mode, headphones on, Pomodoro technique of working in sections or segments of 40 minutes, 25 minutes. You've got to find out which is best for you. Also, with my headphones, I'm not listening to hip hop or anything with lyrics because that distracts me. I'm usually, I don't know if this is because I'm English or not, but I usually listen to the sound of rain. For some reason, this really gets into a relaxed, focused state of mind. You can go to YouTube, put rain sounds, and you'll find 8 hours, 10 hours, blue noise, white noise, all these different types. But for me, rain, headphones, Pomodoro technique, phone in flight mode, no distractions, 50-minute session, and I'm away. So, you should be doing the same as well. Well, test. If you are suffering from procrastination and you think it could be because you're getting distracted, try those tips that I gave you and make your study time the most productive and valuable possible. That's it from me. Thank you very much for listening to this tutorial. If you need any more help, then you can send us a message. You can go to IELTSPodcast.com, sign up, you'll get the email address, and then we can start chatting. Tell us where you're struggling. And yeah, remember, active learners are the ones who's probably going to get ahead faster, quicker, more efficiently, and less painfully. Okay, all the best. Good luck with your IELTS preparation, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to